We've got an ace returning to the mound tonight for the first time since April, and he's facing a team that's less than 24 hours removed from trading away their best offensive player. So let's talk some baseball. Hey, this is the perfect lineup where Josh Engleman and myself, Dave Loughran, strive to build the best lineup known to man each and every day. And one of these days, we know it's a tough sport. One of these days, it's going to happen, but get in on it, because if you haven't done so yet, you can grab yourself a free week of MLB Sims simply by stating in the comments who you think will be the top stack tonight on a 7-game slate. If you're right and you're the only one that guessed that team, you've got it instantly. And of course, if you just want to check out the Sims for yourself, bypass all of that other stuff, use the code PERFECT, and your first week of MLB Core Sims is 50% off the top. Let's kick it off with pitchers today, as we always do, and then Josh will come in, round this one out, build out a beauty for us, and see if we can put something together great. But hey, we got to start with Logan Gilbert against Boston. You heard me tease it at the top. You know, I get that he's going to have some potential restrictions today. And if we get any more news, pay attention to this, right? Because I'm recording in the morning. If we happen to get any more news that he's going to be limited to like 80 pitches, then that clearly kind of curtails the upside here. But I think he should be able to get to 90, knowing what I know right now. Of course, it could change. But he hasn't pitched since late April. He did make 3 rehab appearances, throwing 72 pitches in the last one, 5 scoreless frames. Now he's back at T-Mobile Park, where he's been just absolutely dominant, facing a Red Sox team that just traded Rafael Devers to the Giants yesterday. So now Boston's active roster is 28th in WRC plus against righties. Only the Colorado Rockies have a higher K rate than the Boston Red Sox. So look, I don't love that it's his first start off the IL, but he's looked great in rehab, particularly his last start. Boston's got a slate low 3.4 run implied total. It's an incredible pitcher's park, and Gilbert is a borderline elite pitcher who is utterly dominant this season before the injury. So yeah, he's got the highest top 2 pitcher probability in the top pitchers tool today. And I'm going to go back to the well.
There were a couple teams that I had my eye on when I wanted to get started and figure out who was going to be the stack for today. But by the time that I got to the top stack tool, it became pretty clear that we were going to the Washington Nationals against the Colorado Rockies and Carson Palmquist. And the top stack tool tells the whole story. Second in implied total. Second in highest top stack odds. Both of those things are great. Second in stack score. Just 5th in overall ownership. That stands out to me immediately, and that doesn't even dig into the fact that we need to talk about Carson Palmquist, who has been absolutely dreadful so far this year. He's thrown 22 innings, 15% K rate, 12% walk rate, a 6.16 FIP. Now, he had pretty big strikeout stuff in the minors last year. He doesn't really profile like that. He's a 24-year-old guy that profiles as a back-end starter. He doesn't have the stuff that supports what he did in the minors last year. I think this is a lot closer to what we're normally going to get out of him. Now, the Nats aren't exactly the team that is going to tackle this spot. They haven't been amazing against lefties. They're not at the bottom of the barrel, but they're not like average either. I don't want to oversell the Nats too much, but they just look great as DFS plays. As a team, they're like slightly below average. Not all the way at the bottom, but not great either. Neither one of those things are important to me because of how good this matchup is and how good the rest of the data looks like. That implied total is a massive one for me here. So is it a park that plays up a bunch of righty power? No, not really. 92 park factor for righty power, but I do want to focus on those righty bats. Kind of for 2 reasons. One, it's just easier to get righties against lefties. But 2, I like the positions that you end up taking if you want to go to this Nat stack. You can get Alex Call and check off an outfield spot. You can get Ahmed Rosario and check off 3rd. You can get Chaparro and check off 1st. You can get Gilbert Ruiz and check off catcher. The more spots that I can fill in my stack from these individual positions, the better I'm going to feel, because that's going to leave me enough salary to really maximize the filler in my lineup, which we will do when we build out our lineup in the single lineup simulator.
We're going to pair Gilbert up with Clark Schmidt at home against the Angels, but let me say something first. My goal when doing, pitchers for this video isn't to choose the chalkiest pair. It's not to choose the most contrarian pair in the lowest owned spots either. It's simply to take the best pairings from the sims, from the single lineup sim, from everything we're seeing for some of these smaller field single entry contests, because that's what we're doing. We're building a lineup for those contests. And when I ran the sims earlier today, I was getting a lot of Logan Gilbert and Clark Schmidt pairings. Interestingly enough, though, if you were to expand the field out to say 5,000 within the sims, 25% to first, instead of 500 or 1,000 in the contest generator with 10 or 15% to first, you'll still get a lot of Schmidt, you'll still get a lot of Gilbert, but you get a lot less of them together, which makes sense. In that case, if you're watching this video and you play larger field stuff, you definitely want to be targeting some of these other mid-range arms. Ryan Pepio in a home spot today against the Baltimore Orioles. Dylan Cease, I don't love the fact that he's facing the Dodgers 2 times in a row, but he dominated them last time out, and he still has a low 8K price point on DraftKings. Jake Irvin, a little pricey, but it's a home spot against the Rockies, so what are we supposed to do? And then as gross as this is, on the other side of the Logan Gilbert spot, Lucas Giolito. Look, this guy's feast or famine. He's hit or miss, but he's 7,300. All of them are popping up in the sims, in large field stuff, and they all look very solid in the top pitchers tool in some form or fashion. But here's Schmidt today. If you're playing some of these single entry contests, looks good against this Angels team. Plenty of strikeouts in this lineup. Mild weather at Yankee Stadium and significant win equity here with Schmidt and the Yankees being minus 205 money line favorites at home.
So now the only thing we have left to do is build our lineup in the single lineup simulator, which is what you get if you sign up at stokastic.com. Don't forget to do that, by the way. I've already loaded in Logan Gilbert. I've got Clark Schmidt in, and I went to Ruiz, Chaparro, Rosario, Abrams, and Alex Call. I've got my 5-man Nat stack. The only thing that I have to do is complete this lineup. The simulator will give us the best 3 remaining guys. And in this case, we actually get a 2-man Astro stack with Dubon and Jose Altuve. The final guy left, Shohei Ohtani. Love the lineup filler here. And now we just need to find out, is this lineup any good? Which it clearly is. 32% sim ROI, 32% cash rate, a 1.7% chance of finishing in the top 10%. Maybe you don't like those guys. Maybe you want to swap some stuff around. The single lineup sim lets you do that. Take somebody out, add somebody else, rerun the simulation, and get your data. It makes it very easy. This is going to be, at least what I hope, is the perfect lineup.